The camera fades in slowly. Rain taps against the training field where a group of young, sharp-looking Delta Force operators stand in a loose circle. Their laughter carries through the air, but it's not the light-hearted kind, it's the biting, mocking kind that cuts deeper than any blade. At the center of the circle stands an old man. His back is straight, his weathered face calm, and his eyes sharp enough to slice through the arrogance around him. On his arm is a tattoo, faded with time, its ink blurring after decades of wear. To the young soldiers, it looks like nothing but an old relic from another era, something outdated, something to laugh at. "Sir," one of the soldiers smirks, his tone laced with mockery, "that ink looks like it belongs in a museum. What's that even supposed to be?" The old man doesn't flinch. He simply looks at the young soldier, then back down at his arm, his hand brushing lightly over the tattoo. "It's not the ink that matters," he says quietly, voice steady, "it's the blood behind it." But the laughter only grows louder. The scene freezes. The narrator's voice cuts in, calm, cinematic, commanding attention. "Sometimes, the stories carved into a man's skin are worth more than medals, more than stars, more than even the fear of death. And when you mock the ink of a warrior, you may just find yourself standing in the shadow of something greater than you could ever imagine." The film resumes. One of the soldiers, still chuckling, shakes his head. "Come on, old man. Whatever unit that was, it can't compare to Delta Force. Times have changed." The veteran's gaze narrows, but he doesn't lash out. He's lived too long, seen too much, and fought too many wars to waste breath on explaining himself to men too young to understand. But fate has a way of writing its own stories. The doors at the far end of the field swing open. A hush falls over the soldiers. Boots strike the ground in rhythm, commanding respect without a single word spoken. A tall figure steps into the rain, broad shoulders, stern face, rows of ribbons and stars glinting beneath the gray sky. The Delta operators straighten immediately. The general has arrived. His eyes sweep across the field, sharp and calculating, until they fall on the old veteran standing in the middle of the circle. His steps slow. His jaw tightens. And then, to the surprise of every soldier watching, the general halts and raises his arm. The general rolls up his sleeve. On his forearm, freshly inked though faded at the edges, is the exact same tattoo, the same lines, the same symbol, the same mark of brotherhood carved not with a needle but with sacrifice. The silence that follows is deafening. The young soldiers stare, wide-eyed, as the general looks at the old man, not with pity, not with superiority, but with something rare in the military, reverence. This man, the general's voice booms, stood in the places where legends are born and graves are dug. That ink you mocked, it belongs to a unit so secret, so dangerous, that its very existence was denied for decades. That tattoo," he raises his arm higher, "is not a mark of the past. It is a badge of blood, of men who fought in the shadows so you could laugh in the light." The young soldiers shift uneasily, their earlier confidence stripped away. The rain intensifies, but no one moves. The old veteran's eyes lock with the general's, a silent exchange between warriors who don't need words. The general steps closer, his voice low now, almost breaking. "He was my commander once. The one who pulled me out of the fire in Kuna. The one who carried 3 men on his back when the rest of us thought we were finished. That tattoo isn't just ink. It's survival. It's loyalty. It's the kind of sacrifice you pray you'll never be asked to give." The general turns to his men, his gaze burning. "You think you're warriors because you wear the Delta patch. Let me tell you something, your patch exists because men like him bled in silence long before you were born. You owe him every breath of freedom you take. Not a single laugh remains." The circle of mockery has turned into a ring of shame. The old veteran finally speaks, his voice steady but carrying the weight of 1,000 ghosts. "Respect isn't earned by mocking the past. It's earned by living through what you can't imagine." For the first time, the young operators bow their heads, not out of fear, but out of respect. The general salutes the old man. Slowly, deliberately. And then, something even rarer, he embraces him, as a brother, as a savior, as a living reminder that heroes don't always look like the men on posters. The camera pulls back. The rain blurs the edges of the scene. The old veteran walks away quietly, his back still straight, his tattoo glowing like fire against his skin. The narrator's voice returns, softer now, filled with emotion. "Some marks fade. But others, they burn forever. Remember this, every line, every scar, Every inked memory on a warrior's skin tells a story you may never be brave enough to live. Honor it, because one day, it may be the only thing standing between you and the darkness. The screen fades to black. Words appear slowly. Like, comment, subscribe, and never forget the ones who bled before you.